So I think maybe the first question to popping out is why taking railway system at a scene for a media study or communication study. So the reason I choose this topic is because you don't need to be a research fellow these days. You realize that with the digitalization, the reality and the virtual things, or the data and the practice, the line between them became not very clear these days. So it really reversed this trend starting from the invention of telegrams, that the flow of material and the flow of information are coming back together, finding a reunion again. So that's why I choose this railway system as a, let's say, a symbol or a sign for modernity or the modern society to be my topic and putting the media perspective into it. So that's like my starting point. And first, of course, we need to do some theoretical review. And the first thing come out to me is software study. So in my research, I was trying to take railway system as an interface. And the first thing come out is the work of Kitchen and the famous software study work, the code space. Right? Inside, they say that space is an event of doing rather than a container or thing that's automatically fixed. So this kind of words are basically saying that space itself is not a certain thing or container, but a rule or a set of rules of interaction or communication. So this gave me a starting point because Kitchen studies things like the airport. So I can do a little bit the same when doing things like railway station or the railway system. But at the same time, so the work of Kitchen is like, you can see from like a decade ago. So what they're basically doing is still in the software step of the studies, and the artificial intelligence or the new gender of automation are not that frequent in the thing. So they actually divided separate two different concept. One is the code space with a slash inside, and the other is a code space without slash inside. So the thing is, the first is they mean that the software and the reality space combine together and build something new. And second, the code space without slash inside basically means the cyberspace we often talk about. But these days, you can see with the intelligentization that the difference between the two are getting a little bit blurry. So my thing is, the biggest thing about the intelligent media is actually it's not just people interact with people, but also we have to put computer as an agent inside. So these days, so that's why I come to this theory about interface. As we see the word of Bratton, an interface is any point contact between two complex systems, which according to the recent reality is the two complex system between human and computer. And the interface, the specialized things about interfaces is governance, the condition of exchange between those systems, which means that if we taking those hybrid things between digitalization and modern technologies, we can find this interface between the daily life that we are very familiar with and the infection made by the newly digital technology. So that's why I'm taking the digitalization of railway system as an interface, which is a media perspective, if you would like to say, and to find out what does this kind of technology really brings to the table and change the routine of our daily life. And so what? Oh, so and I must talk about why I chose the Deutsche Bahn, yes, the German railway system. So first of all, I noticed that the unique characteristics of the European railways is very different from things in China or Singapore, because with the European Union existence, that the railway system between the European are collected inter-nation and the intercities and within the city at the same time. So you may have the railway system not just from China, from a city of China to another city of China, but you can very frequently find that they are from Germany to Netherlands and then to British and other countries. And the second thing is because railway can't be a new thing in China, and but I think the railway system originates in the Europe, right? So they're like 100 years, a century history of them. So when you're facing the digitalization, it's really to add something new to the already built system, and that's why during the process there will be conflict, there will be adventures and other things inside. And the third thing will be a little bit personal because um, Dutch Deutsche Bahn is famous for its failure all the time. And this is a comic there. If you can see that it writes Harry Potter in Deutschland, because if Harry Potter choose the Germany railway system, he will never find the train to come, and he will just die there. So that's like the basic ideas, and there's some photos when I'm doing my interview research. That's Düsseldorf and Mönchengladbach, I guess. Okay. So, and about my method, we are trying to use the walkthrough method and trying to evaluate in some way. So basically focus on the user interface and the symbolic interaction behind all the apps, and then move forward a little bit to find the digital and the technical nature and its influence behind it. We have done it a couple of times in China, in Shanghai, and this time I'm trying to approach that in Europe. So about my the things I find out, I will basically break into two parts. The first is the digitalization of software in a more more likely way that we already know. So I think that the big thing that change from apps. Like in the before times, when we go into a train station, where do we gather information is from the first picture, that bulletin board, right? So from bulletin board, and then now we are changing things into screens and apps. So I think the biggest change that from the timetable in a bulletin board to this kind of digital apps are the things actually inside the information lines are became programmable. So which means that now other kind of other part of the society ones are not considered to be part of the transportation system are now adding to the picture. You can see from these are pictures I screenshot from the apps of the DB company. You can see that things like with the public service, how to the different transportations, the restaurants, and other infrastructure, you can find out on the website or the apps from it. And it's because you have this, they have this location technology. So it basically what you see is based on where you are and what you are doing right now. So I think and interesting is not just happening in things like railway apps, but also in other apps, other public service apps or Google Maps. You can all find all kind of things on the. You can find the similarity inside, and so what we are seeing right now is not just a separated system alone, but assembly of different social perspectives. So now we are seeing things combined together, and I think the reason behind this is because software do transforming reality into the same binary system, which gives everyone the same code fundamentals for different social subsystem to combine together. And the picture is here is actually my personal experience, but it's not in Germany, it's in Italy. So I believe it's the September of last year that one day I'm trying to go from Milan to Venice, and the whole railway network, the cyber service of the Italian railway system shut down. So everyone is, the train is actually still working ordinarily, but no one can find the train because you cannot show your tickets, show your e-pass to the workers on that, and at the same time you are not able to buy tickets or not able to find out which train you are about to get on. So eventually the employee, they are actually let me that don't have a ticket to get on the train because the system just shut down. But as you notice, it's not the railways that, it's not the trains that actually working shut down, but the e-system that shut down caused this whole chaotic situation. So which also shows us how code or how the software system can be important or can be a very foundation of this new era of digitalized public services. And that's why I called it not just about space, but it's also about the territorialization and the re-territorialization. So what we see are not just space, but multi-layers piles on each other. And the things we see in maybe a subsystem of the society, of the urban life is actually different combination of different layers. And from this, so we come to this new intelligentization. So I believe that the AI is actually connecting the different layers, the computing layer and the reality layer at the same time during my investigations. So I'm going to break into two parts. The first is how AI has mediated the interaction between peoples. So this is the so you see they're trying. So I'd like to see maybe this one is so Professor Sun once said I'm doing autopilot, but not this time. I'm doing the autopiloting of the railway. So you can see they actually have these camera sensors on the railway system, but the things that the European trying to do to build the railway, the auto mobility of railway is actually they work with NVIDIA to build this digital twin of the real railway system, and they are running data through it. So it's actually virtual trains running in a virtual world and trying to build data that help us to build an autopilot train in real time. So in reality, so it's kind of like the AlphaGo Zero. So because when AlphaGo beats everyone, every good players in the reality, so they are now trying to let AlphaGo play with each other and evaluate them. So so like anyway, can I just finish it? Okay, so I'm saying that we are seeing this common we are seeing this things that we are from a symbolism to a connectionism society when we are encountered with things like AIs, because they are not just an infrastructure or a media that we're facing, but also an agent when computers are actually communicating with people in the real time and the real world. So it's somehow they are logic in a way and also anti-logic in another way. And that's made me believe that the interaction can be a key of the future AI study, and why media study can be a key perspective for not just AI study, but all the digitalization studies as well. So they're missing a lot of things, but I got no time. Sorry. Thank you.